Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be kind of reviewing or giving you tips on this book. This is called Stuff Every Bride Should Know by Michelle Park Lizadeh. I believe that's how you say it. I'm not super sure, so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I'm obviously not going to be going through the whole entire book and telling you every single thing it says. If you would like to know, then obviously you should go purchase it. I got this at Barnes & Noble. I have seen that they do sell it at Altered State as well. I don't know if they still do, but I saw that they did at one point. And other than that, that's the only places I personally have seen it, but I'm sure you could buy it on Amazon or something. I'll try to link it below. But I am just going to, I've read the full thing cover to cover, so I've read the full thing, and I'm just going to show you my highlighted points. So just the points that I really liked that was talked about in this book and things like that. Again, if you like the stuff you hear and everything like that and you want to purchase it to read more, then like I said, I will try to have a link below. But yeah, so I'm just going to be focusing on the stuff I found very interesting and very helpful. If you guys want to see more tips on wedding stuff, please subscribe, and also follow me on TikTok. I will have that linked below as well, because that is where I do a lot of wedding tips as well. So chapter 1 is what to do now that you're engaged. And so I'm going to start obviously from chapter 1 and go into the chapter. So it's going to start from when you're engaged all the way up to like the final processes. So first thing is enjoying yourself. It says give yourself some time to enjoy your engagement before diving into wedding planning. And so we really tried to do this, and that's why we actually gave each other a longer engagement than like what the standard is, which is like a year. Usually people get married within a year, and we gave ourselves about a little over a year. Like I think it was a year and like 9 months, or no, 7 months, I don't know, something like that. Or no, maybe it was, I don't know guys, I don't know, something like that. This is another big one that I never thought about, but I think is actually really important. It says don't promise invitations yet. If someone asks if they will be invited, you can always reply with you hope so, but you're not sure the details like budget, and you don't want to have to disinvite them later or feel obligated to invite them because you spoke too soon. I think that's really important. Next is be vague about your plans. Resist the urge to advertise the plans of your day you will have, even if you've had your heart set on them since you were 12. You never know, plans can change. So yeah, I try to be very, very vague about literally anything, especially on social media, because obviously people can screenshot that, send that, things like that. So yeah, just like I don't know if that tip is like super important, but I think it's like more so to keep from like I don't know, like promising. I guess it's another thing of like promising that you're gonna have something and then later on you decide not to have it, and then people are like, wait, I thought you were gonna have this thing and I was really looking forward to it, you know what I mean? Next thing, you can also, okay, so how to ensure parts of your wedding. It says that you can ensure the wedding itself, which I thought was very interesting. We have not done that. I'm not even really sure how you do that, if I'm being honest, but I thought that was just a really good idea, just in case anything were to happen. Next thing I'm going to be talking about is choosing your guests. So writing an A list and a B list. I didn't necessarily write 2 lists, but I did kind of write an initial list, and then I edited it throughout the months getting closer, and kind of continue to as we're sending out invites. And so it says put people that you truly want to invite, not just because they invited you to your wedding or because it's a distant cousin, on the A list. and send their invitations early. Then when you get RSVPs back, you'll see that not everyone on your A list is going to be able to make it, so then you can start inviting people on your B list to match whatever number you're trying to match, if that is something that is important to you or that you want to do. Next is asking family members, so consider closest family members who you would like to invite. Wedding is more fun when other people and your nearest and dearest should enjoy themselves, so if mom and dad want to invite so many people that it reduces how many friends you can invite, ask them to cover the cost of some of their guests if they aren't already. This is something that I haven't had too much of an issue with. My parents are obviously paying for a big chunk of my wedding, so I do believe that they get to invite whoever they want, because obviously they're paying for the food costs and the venue, which all of those you would take into consideration of numbers. So since they're paying for the stuff that numbers would matter, I don't really care about like them inviting too many people. I do care about them inviting too many people just for the sake of, I don't want like 1 million people there, just because that's overwhelming. But like they pretty much have been able to have a say in who they want to invite and stuff, and it's been pretty much fine. Also guys, sorry if you can hear a lot of background noise. My nieces are over, and my brother and my grandma, and we have a full house, so that's just inevitable. I'm really sorry if you can hear that. I hope it's not too distracting. If it is while editing, I will do my best to fix that. Okay, next, deal with the uninvited. In today's social media world, people will see that you're getting married, and when they have not been invited, they may ask why, deflect blame on the venue's capacity or on your own budget restraints, or simply explain that you're planning a more intimate gathering, and they will get over it. Luckily, I haven't run into this, but I haven't sent out invitations yet, so that could be why. But yeah, so unfortunately, I hope I don't have to deal with this, but if you do, there is a way to kind of help. Okay. Next is setting a budget. So the important things is that you have a firm number before you start planning. So that's why I highly recommend making your guest list, so that way you know the number of people you're inviting, and that will help you, and that has helped a lot. We haven't had any really issues with anything because we knew the number from the beginning, and it has been good to go ever since. The important thing, okay, I just read that one. Next, start saving. Deposit part of each paycheck into a savings account at an institution that is not your mainstay. So Charlie and I have not set up an account yet. We've been talking about it and stuff, but we just have not done so yet. However, what we ended up doing was we did this envelope challenge. It's where you get 100 envelopes, number them 1 through 100. You pull an envelope every week, whatever the number is, that's how much money you put in, and it's supposed to give you like thousands of dollars. It's worked out really great for us, so I highly recommend. Next is making a wish list, so prioritizing which details are most important to you. If you want food, if you don't, let's see, what else does it say? Let's see, food lover settling for delivery pizza may not appeal to you. You don't want to have written checks for auxiliary details, only to realize that the locally sourced upscale menu items you wanted are unaffordable with the dollars that remain. So yeah, just making a wish list and trying to see how much things cost, and just trying to, you know, look at things, and it's like, what do you want to have, and then looking at your budgets and, well, what will it allow you to have, you know what I mean? Next is add it all up, build in some extra space for unexpected expenses. So I have a savings account that has some extra money for extra expenses if needed. We've dived into it a little bit. I've replaced that money, not fully, but some of it, and so we still have some just in case. Next is putting away the credit cards. Do not go into debt for your wedding, especially if you are only racking it up because the day has become a production that you presume everyone expects. This is really hard. In in the culture I live in, and just my family's culture, big weddings are standard. I have not gone into any debts. However, I'm thinking the honeymoon is what's gonna break us. The honeymoon might be what breaks us, but I don't know. We'll see. Luckily, right now it's tax return season, so we're hoping that that will help a lot. But yeah, we haven't gone into debt for the wedding. The honeymoon, though, I didn't say anything about that. I'm just kidding. But really great tip. I really think, honestly, though, we're trying, and we try so hard to refrain from that. Obviously, we don't want to get into debt for our wedding. We're trying really hard to stay away from that, and we've done a really good job. I just really think the honeymoon just might be the breaking point. But one good thing I see about that is that with the honeymoon, if we were to pay stuff now, like book the hotel, book some stuff like that on a credit card, that builds points towards flights. We might get our flights for like free with using a credit card. So that's actually one thing to think about. I don't think credit cards are a bad thing if you use them in a smart way. That's the key. Debt doesn't have to be bad. Debt is actually good for building credit and showing history for you to be able to excel in different areas. You just have to be extremely smart about it. So but yeah, try not to go into debt though. You don't want debt regardless. Still a really great tip, but like I'm saying, like if you use it in a smart way, it can be beneficial. You just have to be careful. So please just try. The best thing to do is just try not to, but if you have to, think about it like that. Try to look into options of like 0 interest for 6 months and try to pay it off in that 6 months. If you are going to go that route, that would help you. Or like I'm saying, maybe if you're going to do your honeymoon, try to get one of those travel credit cards, so that way maybe you could pay for stuff. And it doesn't even have to be paying for stuff for the honeymoon. Like if you're going to pay for stuff for the wedding, still get one of those credit cards, so that way maybe that can help you with your flights for your honeymoon. So those are some tips, not from the book, but from me personally. So okay, next is tips on choosing your reception venue. Decide how many people to invite first, which kind of already said that. Pick a place that reflects your theme. A barn wedding inside a barn wedding inside a barn feels more authentic than a barn wedding inside a hotel ballroom. This is something that we are playing around with. We really would like wood themed stuff, like a people call it rustic. I don't know if that's really rustic, more woodsy, I would say. But our venue is very elegant, and so we're getting things that are wooden with sparkles and trying to make it elevated that way. So yeah, I think there's a way to do it. I think Pinterest is your best friend, to be honest, when trying to pick a theme and stick to it. So ask a vendor you trust for advice. I do this all the time. I have a specific list of vendors that I trust. Not that I don't trust the other ones, but these people, I just have known them for a while. I think that's what does it. So I've known them for a while, so I trust them a lot, so I do ask their advice a lot. But yeah, I hope that if you are a bride watching this, that you can find vendors that you also trust to ask advice for. Like, and I'm talking advice like, obviously, so I'm a wedding photographer, so I do know kind of a lot, but there are some stuff I don't know, because obviously I'm a wedding photographer, I'm not a wedding caterer, so I don't know tips on like catering, and I have questions, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know everything, but I do feel like I have a better idea than a more average person who isn't involved in weddings at all. But I mean, still, so it's still good to have a vendor that you trust that you can ask questions. Think you've just seen the place. View it by day and by night. So when choosing your venue, try to view it during the day, during nighttime. I've viewed my venue at all times of the day except the morning, but it looks good. I think in the morning it would be honestly the most stunning, just because of all the windows and stuff and the lighting, but honestly I just recently found out that we can't even be there in the morning, so it doesn't matter anyways. It's a little bit of a bummer for me, but that's another video. I'm not going to talk about that right now. But I have not viewed my venue in the morning, but like I said, I just recently found out that I cannot be there till 1 anyway, so to be honest, it doesn't matter. But for you, I think it's standard for weddings to be anytime from afternoon to evening, and I think you should see it how it looks in the afternoon when you think that you would start. Even if it's not early afternoon, just see it in daylight, see it at nighttime, just so you know. Okay. I am going to try to speed up because we still have a lot of this book left. Okay. If you will be outside, note if your heels will sink into grass or dirt. Luckily, a lot of my venue is concrete, or obviously the inside part, obviously it doesn't have grass or anything like that, so I think I will be okay. But yeah, a good thing to note though, because you don't want your heels to sink into grass if you're going to walk down the aisle in grass and stuff like that. Don't choose something because it's wedding appropriate if it makes you feel like a bull in a china shop. Like, it's not for you. I think none of my venues really made me feel that way, but I do think finding something wedding appropriate, I did actually avoid that in a way, so like consciously. You know, I think a hotel would have been more wedding appropriate, but I love this venue that wasn't a hotel, it was just a wedding venue, and so I went with that. And unfortunately, it is a little bit rough on my guests, and it is kind of like the issue of like, oh, people drinking, like, and things like that. But obviously I thought about it this way. I've never had a party at a hotel, like my graduation party, sweet 16, whatever, and they're all, I mean, obviously there's more people, but it's, you know, it's all my family and people I know and that I've seen at parties, that I'm not like stressed out or like super intensely worried about it. So questions to ask your photographer. 1, how many weddings have you shot? 2, do you bring backup equipment? 3, do you provide a disc of images and the rights to use? 4, who will be photographing your wedding, because some people have employees, so even though you might be talking to the owner or the head person, that might not be who's photographing your wedding, so be aware of that. How many hours are included in the package? How will you receive the photos? And then there's also like a shoot list that you can make ahead of time, which I highly recommend as a wedding photographer, and I actually sit down with my clients and we make one together, because I'm like, we are making one. But yeah, those are some helpful tips. Luckily, my photographer is a very close friend of mine, so I trust her with my whole life. Okay, next, what do you charge? Oh, asking venues what they charge for delivery. You need to be careful about that. Like your cake. So they're going to deliver it to the venue. How much are they going to charge? Luckily, my cake person, another very close family member, so we're good. But for most people, try to think about those things. They don't tell you about them, so ask that, because that may be a thing. Okay, next, many venues and caterers charge a cake cutting fee. I hate this. I think that is awful. I understand people need to make money, but like, really, a cake cutting fee. So here's what I did to avoid a cake cutting fee, because like I said, my venue has a cake cutting fee, and I think that is not it. So here's what we're doing to avoid a cake cutting fee. We are getting a small round cake for us to cut for photos, Charlie and I, and the rest is going to be cupcakes. We are not having this big cake. It's just not happening. It's not. If you want the big cake look, if you're like, oh, but I need a big cake because I want the look, I want the pictures, here's a tip for you. Make the top layer of the cake actual cake. Ask your caterer to make the bottom half styrofoam that is frosted. They do that. I'm not joking with you. So that way you don't have to cut it, but you still get that look, and you just have to cut the top and then do cupcakes. Obviously, if you're like, ew, I'm not having cupcakes, that sounds atrocious, don't do that. But this is just a tip to help you with that. But those are some tips for you. The styrofoam thing, not from this book, that's from me. Anyways, next up, selecting your soundtrack. Are there must-plays music that you can dance to? So when thinking about picking your songs, are those good dancing music as well? Do you want to include guests in traditional dances like father-daughter dance, for example, would mean inviting your guests to dance with their dads too. I just thought, this isn't really a tip, but I just thought that that was an interesting thing. I've never heard of that before in my life, and I think that's really cute. However, I'm not doing it, but I just thought that was really cute to share with people because I've never thought of that before, and it sounds really cute, but I don't really want it. But I wanted to just share it because if somebody hears it and is like, oh my god, I want to do that, that sounds so fun, so cute, like, please do. Next is asking your DJ these questions. 1, what will you wear? I think that's important to ask a DJ because DJs kind of think, oh, I'm off to the background, like, nobody cares about me, this is my wedding. But like, honestly, if you're having a super formal wedding and this dude shows up in jeans, I know he's behind a little, like, I don't know what they're called, a little table with the stuff, but like, come on. He walks away to go to the bathroom through a song. Nope. Next, what is your plan in the event if illness were to happen or equipment fails? So knowing all case scenarios. What if your vendor gets sick? What if their equipment isn't working? What's the plan? This just might be good to know what's going to happen if all else fails. Okay? Just protect yourself. Next, may we see some references and clips of your past work? So luckily, our DJ that we are getting, I worked closely with him at a wedding, and he DJ'd my soon-to-be sister-in-law and brother-in-law's wedding, so I've seen him, so I'm okay on that aspect. But if you're hiring someone you've never seen before, it might be something to think about. Okay, questions to ask your officiant. Your officiant's voice is a primary soundtrack of your ceremony, so keep that in mind. This is someone you want to trust and see eye to eye with. Asking them if they can help with readings, how the order of the ceremony will go. Will you record yourself through the ceremony? Just if you're going to have a videographer and you want a video and you want like the ceremony recorded, you might want to know, like, include some parts of like stuff that was said from the ceremony, which is like the most special part. And will you be at rehearsal? The answer should be yes for that. Obviously the whole point of the rehearsal is for your officiant to go over all the things. Next is choosing your stylist. Print pictures of styles you like and bring them with you. I actually have one of my consultations this Saturday, so it's great to refresh myself on these tips. Be open to your stylist's ideas. Wear a shirt with a neckline similar to your gown so that way you can really see how the hairstyles will work. Bring your veil, tiara, and headband with you to wear. Have someone photograph you from the front, both sides, and behind so you can see how it looks at all angles. Figuring out flowers is the next one. So delivery, will your florist drop off the flowers ahead of time, or will they be on site to pin boutonnieres or assist with corsages? Next, not every bouquet is built for every bride, so really, like, you know, cascade bouquets and stuff like that that are really big. If you're a really small person, it might take over you, so just be careful about that. Also consider the weight of the bouquet since you are going to be holding it. Here are some interactive bouquet ideas if you're looking to involve guests in the ceremony. Collect flowers from them as you walk down the aisle. Have someone at the... I think this is a typo in this book, you guys. Have someone at the ready to tie them all together. Yeah, that's so a typo. I'm thinking that they mean ask somebody at the end of like your walk to tie them all together or something like that. Oh, so probably, oh, I see what they're saying. They're saying have your guests give them like flowers on a stem, like individually, and then you collect them as you walk up, and then at the end have somebody tie them all together so you can hold the bunch of flowers. It's actually super cute. Carrying the bouquets, stick them in vases on your bars or tables as like centerpieces. We will not be doing that either, but I thought it was a good tip. Do you have proof? Oh, Okay, so transportation, I am not going to have transportation, but these are some things I highlighted before I knew I was going to have transportation, so I'm just going to share them with you. Do you have proof of appropriate licensure? What levels of insurance do you carry? May I see the actual vehicle? What is your minimum booking time? How many passengers does the vehicle accommodate? Does the vehicle climate control work? Does it turn off when idling? Do you know what area you'll be driving us in? Next is how to select your attendants. Guys, we're like halfway done with this book. I hope you're not too bored yet. How are these roles that require... Okay, wait. How to select your attendants. These are roles that require people's time, money, and dependability. So keep that in mind. Location. Know your wedding size, location, and theme before you plan the bridal party. Do not pressure to make someone part of your bridal party. Consider incorporating your colors in your theme. Camera stops recording after I think it's 20 or 30 minutes. That tells you how long I've been filming for, and this video is going to be very long. I actually think I might split it up into 2 parts. So let me finish my thought on how to find your dress, and then I think that's going to be the end of this video, and then I might post the second one. If not, it'll all be one video. You will obviously know at this time. I do not know, but I'm just kind of thinking that just that way nobody has to sit through a super long video. So let's see. Last thing, how you will find the dress. Consider big name realtors and boutique stores as well as trunk shows. Pack your camera. Lighting and mirrors can be deceiving. The venue that I actually got my dress from would not let you take pictures. They did let us take pictures of the one, luckily, but yeah, I did think that was a little weird. Just letting you know that some places might not let you take pictures. Try on gowns, and not just the ones that you came specifically to see. Sometimes your gown you never would have taken off the rack slips on you like a gorgeous glove. Ask the bridal shop consultants to select a few dresses. So my dress was actually a dress that one of the consultants pulled. I would have definitely picked it myself. I just didn't see it. But so happy she pulled it, because obviously that's my dress. Yeah. All right. Well. Oh wait, this other page is also about the dress. So let me just go over these last few things, and then I'm going to end this video, and then there's going to probably be a part 2. If there's not, then we'll just keep going, but more than likely there's going to be a part 2 to this video. Okay, next, higher waistlines such as Empire waistline create an illusion of long legs. Ball gowns can be overwhelming for small figures. Crop sleeves help hide shoulders. Sit in your gown to be cautious of too heavy of beading on the top of your gown. It can hurt your underarms. Always order bigger than you need. Taking in a gown is way easier than expanding it. All right, that is all the tips I have for you today. This is part 1 of Everything a Bride Should Know from the book Everything a Bride Should Know. There are so many more tips in here. So I'm just going to make a part 2 video, just so that way nobody has to sit through this super duper long video. You guys can kind of watch it in parts. Obviously, if you want to watch both parts at the same time, that's cool. I will probably upload them around the same time, so that way, if someone's like, wait, I want to see the rest of them, they can go watch that right away. Or if someone's like, this video is too long, I need a break, I'll come back and watch the other one later, then they can do so as well. Just because long videos, 1, aren't a thing anymore, so I understand, most people's attention span probably cannot handle this video. 2, some can. Some really enjoy long videos, so I just want to cater to both. Plus this video, it's already been really long. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and I will have part 2 linked down below if you want to go continue watching the tips. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope these were helpful, and if you want to see more wedding tips, this is just the beginning, I promise you. So please subscribe. Alright, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.